Hey, it's Tim. In today's video, I want to show you a really simple trick you can do with parameter actions. Essentially, I want to use a parameter to change the date in which the chart starts in. Then I want a simple way to reset the chart once I've changed that date. This is essentially a technique you can use in lots of different instances, but I just want to show you the mechanics of how it works. So you can see here I've got the chart, and if I go to this particular date and I select September, you can see that the range for the chart changes based on that date that I clicked. So now the date starts on September 2017. If I go here to September 2018, it does exactly the same thing, and now the range is much smaller. Now, if I want to reset the date, I've got no way of doing that. Now, if I publish it on Tableau server or Tableau online, I can, of course, use the revert button to get back to the start, but I'd like to give a clear way on the dashboard for someone to reset this. So essentially what I've got up here is a button that allows me to reset the sheet, and it goes back to the original time range. So how does this work? Let's sort of tear this down a little bit and start from scratch. So I'm going to go to a new sheet. We're going to just start building this out. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by dragging order date into columns and cells into rows just to get us our line chart and ready to go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into a month, a continuous month, essentially using the continuous variant of the month, which is green in this case. That's why this has changed to green. And what you can now do is we can start to sort of think about the mechanics of how this parameter action is going to work. Now, essentially what I want to do is when I click on this particular date, I want this sheet to send an instruction to a parameter. And then what I need that parameter to do is essentially filter my visualization. So if you think about it, I'm essentially using a parameter action to filter this sheet. And in order for that to work, I need to have something in the filters pane in order for this to work. So I need to have something already in my filters pane listening out for my parameter. So let's go ahead and sort of build the scaffolding for that. I'm going to call it something else. You can see I've already got an example here, but we'll just go and build a brand new one. So the first thing we'll do is we create a parameter, not a calculation, a parameter. And once we've created a parameter, we can give it a name. So we can call it date param. Okay. And we want to make sure that we pick a date item here. Don't choose date and time. It has to be a date. And it doesn't really matter what value you've got there, but what you might want to do is set it to a value that makes sense. In this case, the smallest date item here is actually on the 1st of January, 2017. So what I might do is set it to the March 2017. So let's go I can just type into this date field here just by doing that and type in 2017. And I can just go click on October and select March, and that takes me right to the date. And I'll just select the 1st of March 2017 as a date and select OK. So a parameter is set up. If I actually right click and show this parameter, you can see that it's over here on the right hand side with that specific date, and I can easily change it. Now for the next bit, what we need to do is to put this in a filter somewhere, so it's filtering this visualization, and we can kind of test it with this slider here once we change the date. So let's go ahead and create a calculation, and I'll make this larger so you can see. So for this one, all we need to do is make sure that we are only bringing back dates that are greater than or equal to the parameter. So it's pretty easy. All we need to do is say we can actually do this instead of trying to type out the date part. We can actually just go and specifically hold control or drag and bring this in, and this will actually give us the date part as a calculation in this case rather than what we see at the top. And all we want to do is we want to basically check whether that date is greater than or equal to the date parameter. So we can just say date param, and you can see that it's purple because parameters are typically purple in calculation windows. So in sort of plain English, we're checking whether the date in the chart is greater than the parameter. I've got an old habit here where I use the // I've just gotten used to it. I just type it all the time. You can do a /* before someone tells me. You can do that and type your comments in there as well. That is also fine and works completely well. Okay, so let's just clear that, and we've basically given the logic here. I'll call this my date filter. I'll call this version 2 because I've already got one in the calculation in the window. So click apply and click OK. And now when I drag this into filters, you'll see that we get a Boolean response. Essentially, if the dates are greater than or equal to the parameter, then it's going to return true. And if not, it's going to return false. So what we want to do is keep all the values that are true, essentially everything bigger than the date in our parameter. So now let's hit apply and click OK. And now you can see that this is working. The date here is 1st of March 2017. And just so we can make sure this is working nicely, let's go to June of 2017, and you should see the chart changes there nicely. The June value is 34,000. And if I just go back to March, or April even will do, and we go back to the June value, it's still 34,000. So everything is working nicely. Now for the final step. Okay, so for the final step, what we're going to do is build a dashboard, because what I want to do is make sure I've got everything that I need in view. So I'll go ahead and bring in sheet 3. This is the one I was actually working on. And you'll notice here when I dragged it in, I've actually set it to floating. So let's close this again and switch over to my tiled setup here on the bottom left. Go back in, drag in sheet 3, and everything is pretty much good to go. Now, I have got my date parameter here, but I'm going to leave that there just so you can see this working essentially. And what I want to do is essentially set up this action to change that parameter. And that is essentially a parameter action. So I'll go over to the dashboard at the top, go to actions. I can also hit Control Shift D, add an action, and you can see I have here a few options for actions. I'm going to choose the parameter action, and you can see here that I've got this very simple option. And I'm essentially coming from sheet 3, which is the one I've just created. It's going to be using a selection, so it's going to run on selection. And then what I need to do is change a parameter, and the parameter is going to be the date parameter. And the field I'm going to be targeting is the month of order date, which is actually what's in our visualization here. You can just see it just outside of this option. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is pretty nice. Now, what we can do is we can say that when you clear the selection, you go back to a certain date. That's one way of doing it, but I don't want to use that. That can kind of lead to a very confusing dynamic when the user tries to use it. So let's hit OK, and let's try out this parameter. So I'm going to try and click on November 2018, and we should see two things. The chart should almost have half the date range available on our axis, and this date here should change. So let's go ahead and click that, and you can see that it's done that really, really nicely. So we've done the sort of first step, and we're pretty much ready to go. You see, if I keep clicking on these, it just goes back. But now we have a problem, because you can see here that I've almost clicked my way out of this chart, and the only option I have is to revert the visualization or manually change the parameter. We don't want to manually change the parameter. I'd love to give someone a button that automatically brings back the whole extent of the data. So in order to do this, there's a little bit of sort of thinking you have to do here. What you want to do is essentially bring back the whole date range. And the whole date range is going to have to be a calculation that dynamically finds the whole entire range. Now, you can do this one of two ways. The way I'm going to do it is use an LOD, because essentially that brings back the date in the whole entire data set. So I'll go ahead and create a calculation. And an LOD is a level of detail calculations. If you haven't seen that, go check out my video on that. I explain how they work in lots of detail. But nonetheless, let's make this larger, and we can just go in and type what we're going to do. We don't even actually need to do any fixation or anything. All we need to do is for the entire data set, bring back the smallest date. So you can actually do an LOD where you don't declare any sort of calculation. This is like I don't know what to call this. I can't remember. I can never remember the term for this. But essentially, it's an LOD where you don't define anything, and so you can just say min. I actually want to use autocomplete and then just get order date. So what this is going to do, it's going to look at the entire data set. And the entire data set that's actually accessible. And this LOD runs after context filters. So if you've got this set up, using context filters, those are still going to work, but it runs before dimensional filters. So if you've got a filter here in your dates and you want it to work, it's still going to bring back the whole range of the data set. So it's kind of handy, because if you've got a date filter working as well, it's still going to bring back everything before the date filter is processed. So here we'll just say smallest date. And now we have the smallest date. We can actually bring it into the view, and we're going to hit apply and click OK. And now what we want to do is bring it into a new sheet. The reason we want to bring it into a new sheet is because this sheet is going to act as a button. We still don't have like amazing tight control of buttons yet. I'd love to be able to use navigation buttons to do things with a data set, but that's not a feature just yet. I hope it will be in the future. I hope someone's working on that. But nonetheless, if I grab the smallest date here and I just put it on text, you can see that it's 2017. And then if I go to the end of actual day itself, you can see that it says the 3rd of January 2017 is the first date available in the data set. So that's pretty good. We have a sort of nice way to find the smallest date in our data set, and this will stay true whatever happens. So even if I run a context filter, this is still going to work. And what I want to do now is just go into this text label and just change this. The value is in the visualization. It's on the marks pane, but it doesn't actually need to be displayed anywhere. I just want to turn this into a nice button. So I'm just going to call this reset my view. Hit apply and hit OK. And you can see that that's it. That's all it's going to do. And there's a few formatting problems here. If I just go into this, actually, let's go into alignment here, and let's make sure this is absolutely centered. So now that's nicely centered. If I was to save, hit the entire view, that you can see that that's centered, it goes to the middle. So now if I go back to my dashboard, I've got sheet 4 here, and I'm just going to this time float it out. So I'm going to float it out, and you can see there it is. I'm going to hide the name of the sheet, and I'm just going to make this a lot smaller so it's much better. Okay, and you can do a few things like style this out. So let's very quickly give it a nice thick border so it's easy to see. And we could even go into the view, and for this specific worksheet, if we just go into formatting, let's just go into the formatting, and can we do the worksheet shading here? Yeah, let's just make this slightly gray, and then that will sit nicely on our dashboard like that. So there we have the reset my view, and it's ready to go. You can see the tooltip says day of smallest date, 3rd of January. So now what we need to do is set another action. So when I click on this sheet, it passes it to the chart and changes this parameter. So let's go back into dashboard actions, add another parameter action, and this time it's coming from this sheet, which is going to be sheet 4. Okay, and it's going to change the same date parameter we changed before. It's going to grab this date and it's going to pass it to that parameter. Okay, so let's hit OK, and let's go ahead and try this out. So if I then go ahead and hit this date, you'll see that it resets. Now there's an issue there because essentially this blue item means it's selected. You can do a few hacks to make sure that this doesn't happen. So once you see when I click it, nothing happens because I was deselecting it. Only when I click it again does it actually sort of come back into action. So you can actually set this up in a way that it doesn't sort of persist the selection, if that makes sense. But you can see that that works. So now you can see the parameter here is 3/01/2017. And now if I click on one of these other dates, you can see that that works fine. Go then and reset my view, and now we're back to the beginning. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's how this is all working. Now that we've done that, I can actually get rid of my date parameter. And I can move this back over here to the top right just to make it sort of aesthetic. And you can actually start to use this technique in lots of different ways. One technique you might use it for is if you decide to build a selector with a start date and an end date. You can give people two sort of options where they can choose their starting year and their finish year, and it can actually filter both ends of this calculation. Essentially, you're making sure that you put two filters in, one which controls when the data starts and one which controls when the data ends. And then everything that's left over is essentially in between. And you basically have a dynamic way of choosing start and finish dates in a visualization. So that's pretty much it. There's not much more to it. It's a really simple trick. You can use this in lots of different use cases, but I thought I'd just make a video. I was teaching DS25 at the data school in London today, and they actually asked me this question, and that's where this came from. Shout out to Jesus for reminding me that I didn't actually need to have the date value here inside of the text element. So thank you for that, because I just completely forgot that that wasn't necessary because it's already in our marks pane, so it gets sent along anyway into our view. Now, one last thing I'm going to do is disable these tooltips. So if I go into the tooltips and I just deselect the tooltips, it's not going to show up with this date. So now when I go back to my dashboard, this doesn't need any sort of explanation. If I just go in and reset my view, it's going to do its job as it should do. So thanks for watching. That's pretty much it for today. I just wanted to show you this really cool trick, and just to see if there's maybe a use case that you can find for it, and maybe something you might find useful. I'm going to really struggle to name these use cases because I don't know how to. Tableau doesn't. We don't have sort of a standardized way of naming these things. So if you can think of a nice name to give this for the thumbnail, maybe we can change it in the future. Let me know in the comments below. But otherwise, I'm just going to name it something like changing dates with a parameter action and leave it at that. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.